Hi guys, today we will talking about the JavaScript debugging. What actually debugging is? Debugging is looking to the running code step by step, row by row. You can see what is going on and you can see what condition was applied or what function was called with which parameters and so on. I think best will be actually looking to some example. I have here prepared some files, start.js, and that have some array, function, even some value, index equal to 1, logging the start, logging the end, and in the middle is some cycle with the calling function based on the conditions. And maybe you already saw my previous video about the node, and you remember if you will type the node start.js, it will be run the code. You even can see the result of the code, start and end, and some stuff around. Maybe you also remember the another command, the npx no daemon start.js, what actually will running the code sequentially after the save. So if I will change the value to 1 million, it will be run again. Sorry, actually it's just 10,000, so I will change to 1 million. But that is not the debugging. So for start debugging, you have to look to the left side of your Visual Studio Code. And then you will see some sign of play button with Beetle. If you will press that button, it will show us several options. And we will actually interested about the middle one, JavaScript Debug Terminal. So let's hit it. And in another corner on the right down, you can see our previous bash with new JavaScript terminal. So if I will switch to the JavaScript Debug Terminal, and type the node start.js, the result looks pretty similar to what we did before, but till the moment when I will create some breakpoint. Closely look to the front of the row numbers and you can see when I will moving the mouse some red dot, and that's actually indicator of placing breakpoint. So I will put it on the console log start and also on the console log end. I will repeat our command node start.js and let's see what actually happening on our source code view. The red dot is marked some yellow arrow and whole row is marked by some green line. For example, if I will move the mouse to the index, it is actually showing me the actual value of the index. And if I will look a little bit up, then I can see new panel with some buttons. For example, the first button will continue to the next breakpoint or to the end of the program. And because I don't want to start every time when my program ends, I will type the npx no daemon start.js, and that will actually make repeatedly starting when I will save the file. But debugging will working normally like before. So now I can try the next button, and as you can see, every time when I press it, it will do the command by command, row by row, and I can see what actually happening with my code. And again, if I will move the mouse on some property or variable, I can see the actual value. In this case, a name have a value text. So now is our program ready to run the function print text on index. So if I will hit again the step over, the program will continue to the index ++. So maybe you are curious what actually does the next button, the arrow down. In case you would like to look what's happening on the function, you can put there some breakpoint and you can catch the running code there. Or you can press the button arrow down and seriously we appear on the function and we can step by step checking what's going on there. So you can continue till the end of the function, or you can say actually I know enough, and then you can press the button arrow up. You will appear on the code. From there was calling the function on the next step. That's for us the index ++. We have here also button for the repeating the all code, but we don't care too much because we're running on the no daemon and he actually does for us every time when we save. And another button is for disconnecting the debugger. That's for case if you have running something and you are already enough with the debugging, you would like to let continue without distracting by breakpoints and anything. And in front of all buttons is some dots, and that's for the moving the panel to a place when it's not distracting you too much. Because you cannot move everywhere, you can just do it vertically or horizontally, up to you, just left to right. And if you will look closely to the left panel, you can see actually all the values, modules and programs. So you don't need always just tracking by mouse and looking to every value. So for example, if I will put a breakpoint to the function and let the code running till the breakpoint, we can look on the left panel and see the index is 2, name is text, and you can double check it with the mouse. And name to print is undefined. So if we were running the code step by step, we can see how the name to print is updating to its final value. On the left bottom we can see all our breakpoints, and that's really handy when the project is a little bit higher, you have more files, so you can removing all of them, and you can also disable the breakpoint for case you don't want to remove completely, but for this run you don't need it. And another interesting stuff, if I will let only one active breakpoint on the line 15, and we can create some expression when should be this breakpoint active. For example, we will make the name equal to txt, and we can see the breakpoint now have some little bit different shape. It's not just a red dot, but also have some 2 lines inside. So I will restart the program, and we can see now it stopped when the name is txt. We can look even at the variables as really txt. So I will continue, and again it stopped and name is equal to txt. And if I will hit the continue one more time, the program is end. We saw the program will stop on the breakpoints 2 times, even the array have 4 items. For now, we're running the program through the JavaScript debug terminal. But I think much better will be when we will create some running configuration in launch.json. We will select the Node.js program, and first what we can see .vscode directory with launch.json. .vscode directory is for customizing VS Code for your project, and launch.json is one of this configuration. And now when we will look to the configuration, we can see maybe something what we don't understand now. But first you should focus to the program. So we're saying in our workspace folder, that's actually our project folder, it's file name start.js, and that's our file with our source code. And another important row is actually name, the name of this running configuration. This configuration will have named the debug start.js. I have to save it. Now we can see up to the JavaScript debug terminal also the debug start.js, and that's corresponding to the name in our launch.json config file. And now when I will run, it actually runs the start.js in debug mode. And I actually don't need to type anything to the console, it's do for me by the button. But maybe you would like to have the advantage, it will run anytime when you will save it. Because now when I will save it, doesn't do anything, I always need to press the play button on the debug mode. So let's create a new configuration, and if we will looking deeply, we can see some Node.js no daemon setup. So that's our choice. This looks a little bit more complex, but for us, the same changes. Program, be careful, have to be again the start.js, and name debug no daemon start.js. Sorry, I know I am not so creative today. So now this configuration should appear between the previous configuration. Sometimes it's a little bit tricky because you have to press the arrow up to see all the configuration. Now when I will press the button for debugging, the application start, we can control everything like before, and anytime when I will save, it's again run again. So we don't need to type anything to the console if we would like to run our program. It's pretty nice, no? But I would like to show you one more configuration. I will again create some no daemon configuration. Let me find it, where is it? And in the program I will remove the workspace folder and put there just a file, and also remove everything else. And on the name I will again be very creative, debug no daemon file. I will stop the previous debugging. Let's check our configuration, and seriously, we have here one more debug no daemon file. So let's run it, and we see some error. Something is wrong. But the funny stuff is, it's really important where you're running this configuration. Because now we are on the VS Code launch.json, and that's actually not runnable by Node.js, it's simple JSON file. So let's switch to the start.js, and I will start it here. Firstly, I have to again turn off the previewers. And now it's running pretty normally, but to see the benefit of this configuration, you need to have more files. So I will create some file 1.js. And one more, let me help because my creativeness is really low today. Let's about mic12.123, and I will put there just a log, console log file 1, console log mic123, and magic can begin. If I will run on the mig123.js, it's really run the mig123.js because we can see on the console. And if I will run on top of the file 1.js, we can see on the console file 1. So now you can have just one configuration and you can run everything, if the everything will be actually JavaScript. So that's the final. Actually, I have a little strawberry on the cake. Let's look to the debug console. So if I will restart the program, we can see the start, and if I will continue, I can see the another result from the console log from our program. But maybe you are a little bit distracting by Node daemon itself. And if we will look here, we have here some filter. And if you will start with the expression mark, and if I will type the break, Node daemon, even I don't need it to finish it, it will be disappeared from our view. In another way, I can choose what I would like to see. And if I will type the 2 double dot, and now I can see just the results with 2 double dot. Or even if I will type the text, I can see just the results with the text. But that is the final of the final. I think you are really full of the information. You are looking forward to the end of this video. So we are here. I wish you, with the debugging, you will find a lot of the issues. Actually, I wish you will type the code without the issue at all. But even that, the debugging can actually speed it up your programming as well. And by the way, do you know what is the difference between in and off in our cycle? If you don't, let's subscribe, because in next video I will explaining what's going on. I hope you enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to see you again. Bye bye.